Welcome back to Cottage Designs by Erin, where today our Christmas in July project is going to be the Christmas tree quilt that's on my design wall behind me. I made this several years ago for my grandson's first Christmas. It is a 50-inch square scrap quilt of Christmas trees. It does use old-fashioned templates, but I'm going to show you how you can make the templates at home. If you are interested in buying the actual original copy, you can find this on eBay by doing a search of Christmas quilts and more. Type that in the search bar and this will come up. The quilt is on the cover of the magazine, and this is on page 11, so I'm going to talk to you about how to get it together and what else involved here. Let me get my little readers. It says, gather a variety of cool tone solids for tree blocks. Set the blocks side by side and frame them with the narrow border to make a forest-inspired wall quilt. The border is 2 inches wide, but you can make it any size you want, and the finished block is 9 inches wide. So if you look at this up close, they stayed within 3 greens, a Kelly green, a lime green, and a mint green. So to give you an idea of what they used. Now, mine is every shade of green under the sun, which I guess it does not look very cohesive that way, but my point was I was trying to use up all the greens that I had in my scrap box. All right, now then, we turn to the first page, and it tells us that we need 2 yards of a solid tan for the blocks and 2 1/4 yards of assorted greens. So I will zoom in on this so that you can take a picture of it if you need to. All right. And then I used a vintage metallic yarn dyed Christmas plaid for my 2-inch wide border. Okay, so now let's talk about what if you don't want to buy this magazine, and there is only one copy in the whole universe probably left. So you can make your own templates at home. You would need a piece of poster board or newspaper or tissue paper. I always keep tissue paper on hand, not only because I wrap my doll orders to ship in tissue paper, but it's also good to have for tracing paper. So get a ruler and draw a 10.5. Wait a minute, is it 10.5? Let me double check this. Yes, a 10.5-inch line. I had on here 10.5, but then it didn't look right. Draw a 10.5-inch line straight across. Then take your ruler from that line up to the top center and draw a 10.5 little dot. Take your ruler again and draw the sides from the dot to the bottom of the ruler line, from the dot to the bottom of the ruler. And that will give you your middle centerpiece. Then to do your side pieces, which are reverse copies, let me pick this up. You would just draw your line out. Let me see how many inches this is. It is 5.5 inches. This line across is 5.5 inches, and then you would draw a straight line down, and then you would draw your other diagonal. Okay, so you're going to end up with a 9-inch block. This piece is also reversed because you're going to use it on the flip side over here. So let me show you what we have. Excuse me. I'm having an allergy fit today. Okay, I'm going to move the camera to my hands. So I had this really beautiful big green print that was a scrap. And I cut out some muslin pieces to go with it. Muslin is always very nice to use because not only does it get softer when you wash it, it's also fairly inexpensive to use for a background piece. And that way then you could make this quilt for next to nothing. Okay, so I'm going to take my pieces, I'm going to fold it in, and I am going to pin it. It's important to pin these because it's on a diagonal, so you don't want to shift around and then your block be off. Okay, now I'm going to sew that piece on. I enjoyed this project. What I would do differently is I would probably use a solid, the same background fabric all the way through, which again, it says you need 2 yards of a background fabric. And then I might be a little more consistent with my greens, or I may not, there's no telling. Sometimes I just like to use up what's in my scrap tote so that I don't waste it. Okay, then we fold that out. So it looks like this. And now we're going to sew the other side on. Again, you want to pin it in place. And you could make this as plain or as country or as fancy as you wanted to. You could use all expensive metallic prints. That would be beautiful. Or you could use all homespun. You could do whatever you want with it. There's a lot of possibilities. Okay, now I'm going to take my ironing board and I'm going to press the seams open towards the muslin because they just naturally want to fall that way, so I'm just going to stay with it. Okay, then I have a little divot right here at the top that I'm going to cut off. And that is our first 9-inch block. Easy peasy. So let me put the camera back up. So this would be our first block, and then you would go on from there. So again, if you are interested in buying the exact copy of this pattern, go to eBay and type in Christmas quilts and more, and it will come up. I checked it this morning. If you want to make it, but you don't want to buy the pattern, do what I mentioned and get a piece of cardboard or whatever you're going to use, tissue paper, whatever. Draw your 10.5 inch line, go straight up, draw a dot for 10.5 inches, and then join your segments. And then go out and draw your straight lines, and you will have your own templates that you can use at home. So again, this is set 5 blocks across by 5 blocks down, which gives us an almost 50-inch quilt. Very pretty. It's a great display. It's a wonderful baby quilt. And even better, it's a great way to use up your scraps. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe for more ideas in the future. Thank you.